Is the world a more lonely place than ever before? And is it getting more lonely?
It is. Yeah, to answer your question succinctly, it is. That doesn't mean loneliness hasn't always been around. Loneliness has been around since the dawn of humanity. It was essential for our survival. And so I think sometimes, I'm sure over the course of history, the causes of loneliness have been different. The ways it's shown up for individuals and societies has been different. And so I do like to differentiate that the loneliness that I'm talking about is the modern loneliness epidemic, what we are dealing with right here, right now. And it's different than historical loneliness in a number of ways. The modern loneliness epidemic is caused by 4 or 5 factors that I always like to emphasize. The first is birth rates have declined drastically. Our herds have shrunk. We need herds. We need to live amongst other people to survive. And with the herds shrinking, we're very aware of it. Our nervous system gets activated by being all alone, not having as many built-in connections from birth. The second part of the modern loneliness epidemic is that those who are left have dispersed. We're not all living in the same place that we once did. So with that displacement, we're often left alone and we have to create new connections. And there's a certain stress in that. And oftentimes the emphasis in the modern loneliness epidemic is not on creating the social connections that have been lost through displacement, but on advancing educational opportunities or taking wonderful career opportunities. And the idea is that to be a good, upstanding person in your own family is to achieve these observable, delineated markers of success, such as getting into the best schools, taking the best jobs. And if that means you're moving across to another state, across a country, across an ocean, so be it. And we don't really talk about the effects on one's social and mental health in those cases, which is that we have to sometimes build our social lives from the ground up when we've taken these opportunities. And the third is that amidst all of this, our social skills have really plummeted for a number of reasons, but we don't know how to create connection like we did. We don't know how to maintain connection like we once did. We don't know how to recover from adversity of interpersonal relationships like we once did. And this is all happening as the tech wave is crashing on our shore, both just in terms of everything being at our fingertips and now with, not even really addressing so much AI, which is going to replace human interactions with algorithmic ones. So we're just now starting to understand the implications of that. So yes, the modern loneliness epidemic is very distinct from the loneliness that we've always experienced as humans.
It's so true. Like my dad was the one of 8 siblings. And then luckily I was able to have a relatively big family as well. I have 4 siblings. And
It's
I'm the
unusual
oldest of
for
4.
someone your age.
Yeah, it is unusual. And they're actually my closest friends. Like all 4 of them. We do things together. Like in 2 weeks, I'm flying out to Utah to meet my brother and my sister, and we're running an ultramarathon together. We did an
Wow.
Ironman a couple months ago to get they're my closest friends, and we do things. We're always texting. We have a family group chat. I couldn't think of how so much of my social and interaction and friendship just comes directly from my family. It's pretty crazy how
Right.
small families are today, and
Yes.
1-2 kids, and me thinking
Yes.
if I grew up as without my siblings, how much worse off I would be in terms of just my life fulfillment.
You kind of hit the jackpot biologically by just being a lucky sperm who was born into some built-in connection. Yeah, absolutely. You look around, I'm sure a lot of your peers don't have the same privilege. So that just means it's extra work. And that's really my message in navigating the modern loneliness epidemic, optimizing our social health, our mental health, our physical health in the modern loneliness epidemic. The short answer is it just takes more work. We have to build it.
Yeah.
We have to build what we were once born into.
You would think that because we are no longer born into it, our skills would develop past what they were before. Because
Yes,
we don't
that's
have
right.
this, now we would think
Yes.
we'd innately go out and get it, but it seems to be the opposite. Why is that the case?
Maybe a sociologist in 200 years will find that we have this exceptional skill, but not at this moment. You're right, Chase. At this moment, I don't know. We don't have it. And there are a number of reasons why we don't have it. Number one, there's been a huge cultural shift on from collectivism to individualism. We are in America one of the most individualistic societies on the planet. But other collectivistic societies are following the same trends. It's not like we're, the only ones doing this, but we have a much more extreme notion of this. And so that's, I think, the genesis of a lot of the social problems is just this focus on the self. To be a good son growing up in America means to figure out your own successes. And a good parent in modern America is focused not on how do I hold the family together and help my son or my daughter understand what it means to be a member of this family, a member of this society, a member of this community, but how can I help them go live their best life? Whatever that means to them, that's going to be different to my first son, then to my second son, to my daughter. All of them are going to have very different trajectories, and to be a good parent means to go help them actualize those things. Very little negotiation of obligations to the collective. So that you see families have every member of the family having dinner at different times. One is having dinner before soccer practice. The other is having dinner after gymnastics, which is 2 hours later, and no one's together. And that's just fine. The child feels like they're doing something important to be a good son or daughter. The parent feels like they're doing something important to set their children up for success. And so from the gate, we're not thinking about the other as much as we are thinking about themselves.